guys. This is Alexa Kebalo Hughes, and we have a really fantastic episode of Next Level Lifestyles where we feature various locations, realtors, and lifestyles worldwide. And today we have none other than Rebecca Donatelli. Welcome, Rebecca.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and hang out today.
Oh my gosh, so fun. How long ago did we meet? Was it at YPN Retreat? How many years ago now?
Was that 3 years ago? I think it was 2018, right?
Yeah, time flies, huh?
It does. It's so crazy. I have like the worst sense of time. Honestly, I'm like, oh yeah, I sold that house like 3 months ago. And they're like, that was like 2 years ago. I have such a bad sense of time. But yeah, I think it was 2018.
Oh my God. Well, that's because time flies when you're having fun. And I will never forget when I met you. You're just such an inspiration. And what's so crazy is that we're both part of like the same 30 under 30 class, right? Realtor magazines.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that wild?
It is so crazy, like how everyone gets connected somehow, or when we meet, whether it's before or after. That's what I love about everything with this industry, is just like the connections and the family and everything like that. It's such a game changer. But yeah, we were 2019 best class. Just have to say it.
It's so crazy, like seriously. And that's what it's all about, right? Your network is your net worth. I love networking with people that think bigger. You know what I mean? And which is Rebecca's book, which we're going to talk about. But it's just so incredible. It's like, I really believe we're a combination of the 5 people closest to us. And so that's why I'm just so grateful that you and I were able to connect. And I love seeing everything you're doing on social, everything with your association, which we're going to uncover all that. So let's do a nice little bio for Rebecca here. So Rebecca Donatelli is founder of the Rebecca Donatelli team with Mcdowell Homes Real Estate Services in Cleveland, Ohio. Her team is in the top 5% of realtors in Northeast Ohio, and in 2019 was honored with Realtor Magazine's 30 Under 30 class of 2019. She was also honored as a 2020 Lake Garda. Is that how you say it?
Giaga.
Oh my God, I'm like,
it's okay. Everybody, it's one of those things that you're not alone. So
I literally was reading that before. I'm like, I'm totally gonna mess it up.
It's okay. You're not alone.
2020 Lake Giarda Area Association Realtors Realtor of the Year. Her team has been recognized in Cleveland Magazine as top producing team since 2018, which is incredible. She's built her brand to become recognizable on social media, both in Cleveland areas as well as nationwide, which I will attest to. And in 2019, Rebecca launched RD Seminars and Consulting, which I'm really excited to learn more about. So let's get into it, because you've accomplished so many things. I know you got 30 under 30, only being in the business for 3.5 years. So let's bring it on back. So what did you do before you got into real estate, and why did you get into real estate?
So it's so crazy. I went to John Carroll University, which is here in Cleveland, to be a high school math teacher. I am a huge math nerd, loved calculus, still do to this day. So I wanted to be a high school math teacher. And then my senior year of college, I had a meltdown to my academic advisor. I had like maybe 2 classes left to graduate as a math major, and I like physically couldn't get myself to go to class. I just knew that wasn't my path. Loved math, but I knew I wasn't meant to teach math. So I actually ended up taking a 5th year of school and graduating as an English major, which I also thought I would never use. And now here we are using it full force. So, but I didn't think I really wanted to do anything with that either. I didn't want to be an English teacher. You know, I kind of just was graduating and hoping I would figure it out at some point. I was working in retail throughout college. And then when I graduated, quit that job, worked as an account manager at an insurance company for like 5 months and hated it. So I quit that, and I really had no idea what I was supposed to do. I went to lunch with my mom one day. I was not working at the time. I took like 3 months off just to kind of give myself a little bit of direction. And my mom suggested real estate. She was like, have you ever thought about real estate? And I was like, the commission freaks me out. You know, I'd maybe seen like 3 episodes of House Hunters, which was the extent of my real estate knowledge. So, you know, I really didn't know anything about it. I couldn't even tell you the difference between a colonial and a ranch at the time. When you work on commission, you are never guaranteed a paycheck. And especially in our industry, you know, it's a hard industry to break into. And I'm very blunt when I talk to folks about, you know, that want to get into real estate, because I was that realtor when I first started, that when folks would approach me about, hey, you know, I see you posting about real estate, I want to get into it. I was the rainbows and unicorns responder. So I was like, it's so great. You make your own schedule. You're your own boss. Yeah, life is so good all the time. All these beautiful houses, right? And I was never really sharing like the realness of our industry. We have an 80% failure rate of first-year agents, and that's just the reality of it. So for the people that are interested in getting into the industry but are afraid to take that leap, what I would say is a couple of things. Number one, it is important to, maybe have a little bit of a backup plan, like something saved up, because even if you sell a house day one, you're still not getting that check for 30 days, right? 45 days sometimes. So make sure that you have a little bit of a savings, backup plan there, but also link up with a mentor or somebody that, here's an office assistant back here.
Mine's right here sleeping.
Okay, we're on the same page there. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know the first thing about real estate. I didn't realize how competitive the industry was. And, in comparison to other markets, I just got back from Florida. I was speaking for Florida Realtors. The Miami Association, they have like 55,000 members there. It's crazy. It is. It's very competitive. And they're a big market, obviously. Here in Northeast Ohio, we've got about 8,000. But what I tell all the agents, either that I train or talk to, is think about it from a buyer's perspective or a seller's perspective. We have 8,000 choices, right? When they go to pick a realtor, they've got 8,000 choices. So it's really important to make sure that when you get into it, you have, all your I's dotted, your T's crossed, you have that mentor, someone that can help you. And like I said, also that backup plan to make sure that you have some kind of cushion in case it is a little bit of a slow start or, just to have that. I'll say to that point, like when I started, I didn't realize how important it was for me to have her or anybody as a mentor. I didn't realize it. And looking back now, over 6 years later, I know I wouldn't be sitting in front of you today had it not been for that. I know that. I didn't realize it at the time. And, I talked to some agents, and sometimes, when they, maybe consider joining a team or linking up with somebody and maybe being a co-list or something, some of them are, I think they're a little too prideful. They're saying, well, it's my name, and and I'm like, but sometimes when you start, you have to do those things to really, really grow. And in this business, especially, I found myself going to listing appointments up against folks that have been around for 20 years that had a giant book of business. And I was this little 24-year-old that, had barely sold anything and had to kind of figure it out, really. So that's one of those things, looking back, I didn't realize how important it was at the time. And now, I tell every single person I talk to, link up with someone. You don't have to join a team by any means, but at least have a mentor to talk to, listen to their phone calls, see how they do business, go to lunch with them, and connect with them as much as you possibly can. You just have to put yourself out there. You have to try. And I truly live by that saying that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, because looking at all the different things that I've done and you've done, and especially at a young age, we are in an older industry, so it can sometimes be a little intimidating to run for the board of directors or put your name in there for president-elect or, speak at a conference or whatever it is that you're doing, but you just have to try. And if you fall down, I don't look at it as a failure. I look at it as that you fell down and you just got to pick yourself back up and try it again.
Fail forward, baby. Am I right? Like, it's just about going for it, realizing that yes, we are going to trip and we are going to fall, but the fall isn't that bad, right? I really believe that as long as you're doing everything with integrity and great intention, that it's going to be okay. Everyone makes mistakes. That's how we learn and grow.
But, for folks that are interested in speaking, the best piece of advice I can give you is make sure, number one, you're doing it for the right reasons. I have some people that say, oh, I think it's going to really help my business. And I'll be 100% transparent. It's very much helped my business, but I do it not because I'm hoping to get business from it. I do it because I genuinely love it. Like I said, with the book, I love giving back in any way possible. That's why I love leadership. That's why I love, being able to share my story and speaking to folks, because I really love that give back. And it is kind of funny that I went to college to be a high school math teacher, and even though I'm not doing that, I'm teaching again, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Or not again. I didn't
Perfect.
get into it. it worked out. Everything really works out. And
Totally.
so you have to just, make sure that you're passionate about what you're talking about. When I get up in front of a crowd and I get to speak, there are things that I love and I know that I'm successful at, and kind of sharing my story, and also just being very real. If you know me, you know that I'm very blunt, but I love to laugh. I have a sense of humor. I might drop a, little S-bomb or F-bomb here or there. I won't drop the F-bomb when I'm speaking in front of folks, but I'm very real. Like, I'm just real. I like to share my story. I don't sugarcoat. And I think that's really important when you're getting a message across to folks. So that's what I would say. And I'll share the blog because I put a bunch of stuff in there that I think is really helpful for people if they do want to get into speaking. And just practice. When people get in front of a crowd, it's natural to be very nervous. I remember the first time I spoke, I was in New York, and they asked me to come speak at this conference, and they were, paying me a speaker fee. And I was totally nervous, but I felt like I had to take the opportunity. So yeah, hit me up if you're out of town and need a good investment property. I can definitely find you something that's really nice in the area that you can get a really great bang for your buck.
Love it. Well, Rebecca, with that, thank you so much for hanging. This has been such a pleasure. You truly are incredible. And I'm just so excited that we're able to connect, have some time together. And I encourage everyone out there to reach out to Rebecca for any questions that you may have. I'm sure there's a lot of great things that may spark some interest based on our conversation here today. And thank you all for joining us for another episode of Next Level Lifestyles, where we connect you with different locations, realtors, and lifestyles worldwide. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.